Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Backpacktrader training room for Wednesday, June 2nd, 2021. Obviously, since you're seeing Ninja Trader this morning, this is John. I'm substituting for Troy this morning. Actually, Troy and I swapped the Wednesday and Thursday sessions this week. I had a conflict on Thursday, and that works out so that he's doing the Thursday morning session. Crude oil inventory report is also Thursday this week because of the Memorial Day holiday. So that will be at 11 o'clock rather than the normal 10:30, but Thursday at 11 for the crude oil inventory report. Good morning, Miles. As a reminder, please do say hello and so I know who's here. Hit the like button so you can help Troy's channel in the YouTube algorithm. And we'll jump right in this morning. Trade today has a long trade off of these exhaustion dots, and I imagine that it's a yellow trade off the 50 EMA, and then just the 50 EMA is in a little different place, or the bars are a little different placement compared to mine. So I am not getting that yellow trade. But on my chart, I have another chart off screen that I'm trade off of that I also have the 200 EMA trade turned on, and that actually did plot, or that trade did print as a 200 EMA trade on my data, and it's, with the exception of 1 pip difference in targets 2 and 3, it is the same trade that Trade Today has posted. So I had a little trouble getting in this morning because I was having some data problems with my Forex data on the charts. Was missing data for the 31st and the 1st. I'm going to fix that, and ready to go this morning. So that trade is live, entry at 8308, and of course your particular entry order would have been adjusted for spread. So something like 3095 to 3310, depending on what you're using for spread. We're about a minute away from open. The Russell has a potential, let's see, no, that didn't trigger in yet. Crude oil picked up this trade. The long trade was before our start time, but at our start time, it was right at the entry, and then that went down and came back up. So definitely a get in sync. Hitting target 1 for 12 ticks and a couple of ticks on the trailer. So that is a one and done session there. Unleaded, unfortunately, having a bit more trouble than on its setups. This long setup came 6 seconds before our start time. So that's a maybe you got that one, maybe you didn't. It was a full stop out anyway. Those trading the 20 SMA trades then picked up the short trade after the stop on the long, and that went part of the way and came back for a full stop out as well. So possibly as potentially 2 full stop outs, and the markets are open, and we did get a the short trade on the Russell, and that so we've got a and the short was 5 seconds before start, and we didn't ever get back up to that. So the short is our trade of record. That's just hit money management. We're talking about the YM now. Not quite hitting target 1 yet. The Russell's gone through and hit all of its targets. That Russell trade, in all likelihood, a no trade. That just went too fast to catch, closing just above our entry, right at 9:30, and 6 seconds later it was down beyond the entry and never came back. So I would say that was untradeable. Still a question of what chart to trade on the Russell now, since the volatility is all over the map. Oh, I've got to get that back on. And the YM going through nicely. Unleaded with a short. And market's heading down hard, it looks like. At least the YM and the Russell. All right. Unleaded making good progress. All right, not much going on. We did have a potential long on the Russell that did cancel. Coming down to session open on unleaded gas. And hovering right around session open at $68, $67.99 on crude as well. Now, what did we have on soybeans? That looks like it popped on us again this morning. Looks like lots of bars. Wow, that was early. Yeah, there was the trade I had marked. It was a possible get in sync. There's our 930 bar. And so that's a no trade. That was definitely too fast to pick up. 36 cent, that one's too fast. I would say most likely the short didn't trigger in a way that you could have taken it. If it did, then this long is your next trade. And it looks like it hit target 2 in money management on the nose and a 1 tick. So if you did pick up the short, you're taking this next white short, 19 to 20. That's only 6 seconds. Then you have a minute on the next one. So chances are you got into that short. It did hit money management and is trailing down and trying to get down to hit target 2 at the moment. And we did hit money management on the unleaded trade. Have not hit target yet. And our stop is at 1817 at the moment. And the Russell has an SMA short if you're trading that 1.5 point momentum bar, 15 tick range bar. $18.11 for the unleaded stop, and long for every full stop on the Russell, and then a long. 87.1, and the YM trade did stop out finally. And that was just 8 seconds, so that was probably too fast to get into also. So I'm going to assume that was a no trade and look for our next trade setup on the YM, which there it is, and hitting the entry at 576. Maybe it hit the entry. No, we only got to 575. So that would be your first trade of the day. Unleaded trying to get down to 1750. Got as low as 57. Pound Aussie testing the 50 EMA, and I have a potential stop and reverse. Plots at 92. So stop and reverse would be at 89. All right. Okay, unleaded 1797. We did get the short. Stop and reverse at 89. On the pound Aussie. Actually, I got that, but Trade Today didn't. So Trade Today traders still in the long. And the YM hitting target 1, so that will be a one and done session. Sorry about that. I was having to try to fix my trade. On the short on the pound Aussie. Okay. And unleaded making target 2, so that will help us to get closer to break even. That was a nice 68 tick target. And we are now at 1761 for the stop. Our 2 earlier trades were pretty small, so that might be getting close to POQ. Russell not doing well this morning. Getting only a partial on the long trade and a full stop out on the short, on subsequent short, and now in yet another short. The YM hasn't quite hit target 2. Stop is at 608. And unleaded down to 1751 now. 217.51. Which I believe is about what target 2 was. Yeah, target 2 was 1750. So 68 and 67, 135 ticks so far on this trade. Going through target 4. And the YM did stop out at 608. So the YM is POQ. I've got my chat box covered up. Sorry about that, guys. I'm up 5 minutes from the 10 a.m. session on crude. $17.46 for the unleaded stop. And we did hit target 2 and target 3 hit target 3 on the nose before stopping out at 58.25 on soybeans. So that is a one and done on soybeans. Actually, no, it's not a one and done, but that's the third trade and should be enough to get you positive. So that would be a POQ there. Pound Aussie's in between its 50 and 200 and just kind of stuck in there at the moment. And the Russell short approaching target 2. And there's target 2 and new session low. Stop at 87.6. trade a day still sitting in its long trade. I have a short trade there. The Russell pushing down through target 3. Stop now is 86.1 on the Russell. And we are less than a minute. Yeah, just under a minute from start on the 10 a.m. crude session, and that would be a possible get in sync at 67.89. Actually, it's still a valid entry at the moment. Has not been hit. And there is the 10 o'clock session start. So that is a valid short trade on crude. Still hasn't triggered. And of course, it's not a get in sync because it hadn't triggered yet. It's just a valid trade setup. Pound Aussie making a move upward. Still hasn't gotten back to its entry on the long trade. Unleaded 1731 for the stop, and it just hit it. So we went from 1818 to 1731. 87 ticks on the trailer, 68 on target, 155. How many? What were we down? If we assume both of the full losses, we were down 62 on 2 positions on the first trade, and another 58. So we were down 120. So yes, we're positive in POQ on unleaded. by 35. So we gained 35 ticks on unleaded gas. And the Russell did stop out of its short trade at 85.1, and it reversed in. Oh, then it sat. Now we have a long trade at 85.1 that just triggered in. Crude short is still possible. But will cancel if this bar closes above the balance line. Crude testing 200 EMA, 200 EMA, and the 20 SMA. See if it will go down from there, or if it will continue back up the session highs. We're some 40 cents below the session high now, set just after our 9 o'clock start. And that's a up close, and that does cancel the short trade. And the long trade is filtered by the squeeze zone. $50 EMA is at 68.17. And that entry was at 16. And it could take along from, say, 68.19. And that would have just triggered in. Adjusting around the 50 EMA. And the Russell Long, we're trying to work its way through the 50 EMA as well. Getting close to money management at 22.88 even. So half of our charts are finished. The YM, soybeans, and unleaded gas. Crude oil was POQ on the first trade for the 9 a.m. session, and we're waiting for our first trade of the 10 a.m. session. Money management on the Russell stopped to 85.4. So already trailing the balance line up. And looks like another stop out for the Russell, stopping out for a partial on the Russell at 85.8. Yep, hit it exactly. Not much going on. Crude coming back to the EMAs. Just oscillating around the moving averages right now. So we will have to wait for a breakout one way or the other there. So we have crude and the pound Aussie both hanging right around all three moving averages in both cases, getting very close together. Everybody's quiet this morning. No crude report this morning because of the holiday on Monday. The crude report will be tomorrow at 11, when Troy will be doing that. And another short on the Russell. Well, this is interesting. The Russell is just a bit above its session lows, about 3 points. Or actually, well, let's see. Yeah, actually, right now it's 5 points up from its low, but definitely on the downside this morning, whereas the YM is up at session highs. And not much. Pound Aussie coming back up to the entry on the session long. So the trade today long is starting to make some progress. And the Russell with a stop and reverse back to long. Didn't quite get down to money management. Looks like missed by 2 ticks. So the stop and reverse would be at 87.1. And would be long. Kevin is away. Hope he isn't having system problems. Russell looking like it's going to try to follow the YM possibly now. But finding resistance at the 200 EMA. It'll have to push up through that. All right. Crude with a long off the SMA. Money management at 68.51 and target at 68.53, which is the high of the session. Trading definitely slowing down a bit at this point. Okay. Russell testing the 200 again. Closed right at it, trying to work through. Actually closed a tick above. Crude oil trying to work up through and get to its money management level. Having trouble getting away from the entry. All right, just slow moving at the moment. Everything's pretty much status quo. The Russell back at its entry level. Crude trying to head upward. Getting to 68.40. It's got another 11 ticks to go to money management. And all right, crude and pound Aussie, or not crude, but crude making progress. 4 ticks away from money management. Just really slow action this morning. The Russell still hanging around its entry. Pound Aussie hanging around. It's just below the long entry, just above the 20 SMA. And 2 ticks away from money management on crude. And 1 tick away, getting to 68.50. Will it be able to get through the 50-cent level? That is the question. And it did hit 51. So money management need 2 more ticks for target. That's a 21 tick target. 1 more tick for target. And the Russell with a potential stop and reverse, and there is target on crude. So that is a POQ session for the 10 a.m. session. Patience was rewarded. Looks like the stop and reverse on crude should be 86.2. It looks like. Yes. And did we get there? Nope. Still long. We did hit the stop and revert, the unadjusted entry for the short, so the short will remain valid until it either triggers in or touches its stop. Can we break through the 200 EMA on the Russell? That is the question. Can the pound Aussie make a move up toward its session high? A lot of nothing so far, and there the Russell goes, canceling the short stop and reverse and hitting money management on the long. So another case of patience rewarded. Crude stop at 68.38. Still with second position on, looking for target 2. And the Russell coming back to all the way down below the 50 and stopping out. Actually, that would have picked up a little bit. So 87.9 would have been the stop. So that would have picked up 11 ticks. And now a new short. And crude stopping out at 68.38. Not a lot of movement at this point. Crude, well, actually crude, or not crude, but Russell moving down now. Looking like it's going to test its session lows again. With the YM still pushing its session high up to 675 just a couple of minutes ago. You don't have to apologize for needing to leave, Jay. That is up to each and every one of you. You're here voluntarily. And money management on the Russell. I'm just kind of watching trades on the Russell, so I've got something to talk about. Not a real good day we've had. Let's see, that was the last two were just money managements. And last three actually so far. We had one target 2 winner and some losses early. The Russell actually bumping its session low down a couple more ticks, down to 81.2. And the stop currently at 85.7. Looks like it'll move down to 85.3 on if this bar closes below the balance line. And the pound Aussie is just giving us really slow zebra stripes. And not going anywhere. Let's see, the low is 83.3. Oh, up close will bring it right to, currently will bring it right to the balance line. So the stop should, if that's the case, the stop will remain at 85.7. A down close will bring the stop down to 85.3 on the Russell. No, I'm sorry. An up close will actually Yep, an up close will actually hit the stop. So I've been used to thinking in 80-cent momentum bar or 8-tick range bar, and we did to get the close below the balance line. Stop moved down and subsequently stopped out at 85.3. Wait a minute. Yeah, 84.8. Yeah, so that and hit right into a new long. So that's our third money management trade in a row on the Russell. And the Russell kind of stuck in a pretty tight range. Well, I am not seeing any questions coming in. And given how slow everything else is moving other than the Russell, long triggered in at 86.6 and is making its way fairly rapidly to money management at 90.9. And the Russell, for those of you not trading the SMA trade, the Russell just hit its money management for the fourth trade in a row that's hit money management. See if this one can hit target 2, that is. If you're not using the SMA trades on crude, then your first trade of the 10 o'clock session is a short trade at 68.39. And triggering in. And the pound Aussie starting to make a down move. We've got a close below the 50. Now, will it consolidate that and continue down, test the 200, or will it bounce back up again? Hasn't been able to get significantly down through the 200, but also hasn't been able to really break free of the moving averages and head up and test the session highs again. So really stuck in a consolidation at the moment. Target 2 on the Russell at 22.94. Session open at 94.6. Not calling anything on the other charts because they are complete with their POQs in hand already. No news this morning to drive the market, and so things have pretty well stagnated this morning. Money management for the crude short, and target 1. So that is for gold level traders. That's going to be a one and done session. Took a while to get your trade, but that's it. So this is an active POQ trade, having hit target 1. 13 tick target 1, target 13 and 21. Russell stop. See, it looks like about 87.1 or 2. Let me see what that is. 87.2. Pushing up above the swing seems to be getting wider, so that's maybe a good thing, or at least a good thing for traders. And the pound Aussie still right down among the moving averages. Or actually moving back down among the moving averages. It had been sitting above, but now it's back in the middle again. Looking like a bounce off of the 50, but hasn't been able to get through the 20 yet. And now it's moving through the 20 and back. Not much in the way of impetus to move the markets, either the futures markets or Forex. keeping me busy yesterday with questions. Very quiet today. Crude stop at 68.38 and challenging that 37. There's the stop at 38. So the crude trade is finished. 13 ticks its target, 1 for the trailer. For those not using the diamond level trades. All right, and the fourth money management trade in a row, it finishes on the Russell. With that, folks, I believe I'm going to call it a morning. I have some things to get on with. As I said, Troy will be in tomorrow. Regular session at 9:30, crude oil inventory session at 11. Everyone have a good afternoon and say hello to Troy tomorrow. I did have a conflict come up Friday afternoons for Thursday, so I'm not going to be here in the room tomorrow. So we will see everybody next week. Everybody have a good weekend. Thank you, Miles. You too. Still no breakout for the pound Aussie, just more zebra stripes. Yeah, maybe it will. Pound Aussie peaking below the 50. And the pound Aussie testing the 200 again. Will this be the time it makes it through or not? And we do have a close below the 200. Not far, but it is below. And now testing our prior swing lows. Testing the most recent, it was just after our trade setup. Does it have enough energy to get away from the 200 EMA? Getting below that one. Now can it get below the one before that? It's below this one. It might have. It looks like we may have a good shot at at least making money management. And that, I believe, is going to be a stop out of the long trade on trade a day. Yep, 82.84. So that will take out the long trade. And unfortunately, trade a day didn't get the short that I'm in. That my chart has. This is actually a strong move, and there it looks like it was money management. Low of 76, 70. Yes, money management on the pound Aussie. And trade a day. Yeah, Don, you're showing a stop, and Kevin just posted the stop as well. And I just hit target 1 on my short. And on that note, folks, I will see you next week. Have a good one.